Namaskar. The message that Trump put out yesterday on his Truth Social platform to stop, to tell both Ukraine and Russia to stop, and to Russia especially to stop pounding Ukraine targets. The reason he said that specifically was because for 2 days, United States withheld intelligence from Ukraine, and that's when they found that there was a window of opportunity for Russia, and they just took full advantage of that. A lot of questions being raised as to where things are going to stop, but a lot of other things are also coming. Was this message for Russia and Ukraine, or was it for somebody else? Now, as if things are not interesting enough, something else happened that is on part of United Kingdom government. So this raises the questions, if it was not for the actual players, who was it for? And I'm going to have a small slide deck to explain to you what I think is happening. Here we go. Please like this video, and if you have not subscribed to our channel, kindly do so right away. Here we go. Stop now or face even more sanctions. This was the gist of the message from Trump. What he said was, based on the fact that Russia is absolutely pounding Ukraine on the battlefield, I'm strongly considering large-scale banking sanctions and tariffs on Russia until a ceasefire and final settlement agreement on peace is reached. Trump wrote to Russia and Ukraine, get to the table right now before it is too late. Thank you. So this is where I'm seeing that this might not be for these two players. They are going to be at least meeting somewhat next week in Saudi Arabia again. But there was somebody else who is being told this. Who is that? Well, to understand this, you need to go back a few years to the time when Obama became the president. See, when Obama stepped in, there was a great recession. And then there was this crying need for bringing something which was a more affordable healthcare. He came on that ticket, and he was, in the first 2 years when he had the majorities in both Congress and Senate, he said that he's going to pass it. It took a lot of haggling, but that did get passed. I've told you about the affordable health care, also called as Obamacare, where if you are making 100,000 or less as a family, you get great medical benefits. Did you also know in states like California, illegals get full medical benefits? And if you ask anybody for their identity, it is illegal. You could be in trouble. Can you believe that? That is how bad things have come today in California. And guess who wants to run for governor? Kamala Harris. Well, there's an interesting development on the Republican side too, and I'll talk about that also in a different podcast. But just hear that this is a very interesting development. Is it going to be Ivanka Trump, who's going to be running from California? Possibility, because there are strong winds blowing that way. If that happens, then that would be a great contest there, because now it's about 40% Republican and 60% Democrat. That is what the voting pattern in California is. Certainly, the Asian American population, they might actually get swayed. They might actually vote for Ivanka. Who knows? A lot of things are happening there. So that is as far as California is concerned. Now, what else happened today that made me said, wait a minute, there is something else going on here that people are not aware of, because this has not hit the mainstream yet. The UK government has removed one Russian bank and one Turkish company from its sanctions list. The bank's name is Ross Bank. This was put on sanctions in May 2023. And there is a Turkish company, I don't have the name, but it was put on sanctions list in February 2024. Now, UK government has lifted sanctions on these two entities. Why? That means that there is another play that is going on, where we thought that the deep state sitting in City of London was completely against Russia, right? But then how does one explain this? What is going on? Where did things change? Because this would mean that Ross Bank would be back on SWIFT. So who is helping whom? So the plot gets thicker and thicker, right? So what did Obama do in 2008? Like I said, he started Obamacare, and I think as part of that, a lot of hiring was done, but quietly things have been, massaged around. Like, money for this department gets used somewhere else. All that stuff started, I believe, in Obama's time, during Obama's time. And then it has taken a life of its own. During the first term of Trump had a bit of a problem in the sense that he was new and he didn't have the experience that he has now. So he had a few people that probably weren't the best fit, and he thought he was draining the swamp, but the swamp kind of drained him mentally, if you will. And then COVID hit, of course, and COVID is still, the jury is out as to how that happened. I mean, was it like a mistake, an accident, or was it an induced accident? All that stuff is for a different day. So this time around, Trump has been very, very careful. He has only taken one or two entities from New York who could be having some links to the deep state entities that are based in the United States. But other than that, majority of his team is not from either Washington, D.C. or from New York. Who are the people from New York? His Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, and his Commerce Secretary, Lutnick. Now, other than that, the rest of the people are mostly from Florida, but there are from other states also. So there is clearly a plan on part of Trump to make a real fist of how to do this draining the swamp this time around. In fact, 𝗏𝗏𝗍 is the big, brilliant move on his part, because what we are now seeing is 𝗏𝗏𝗍 has been given access to Treasury's backend. This was going back and forth. I'm going to have a separate monologue on that, because that's a big one, because I have to tell you all the things that happened and who are the people specifically from the 𝗏𝗏𝗍 team who are looking into this. Everybody gets only read-only access, but that's where the maximum amount of fraud will be unearthed. We'll see, fraud or wastage. We can't qualify them as one or the other, but that will emerge from there. So the 𝗏𝗏𝗍 thing will be a separate episode that I'll do, but just take it that there is going to be some revelations that are going to be coming in that one too. So today, what is going on? Now, I think the resumption of intelligence has taken place and more weapons are being rushed to Ukraine. Is it too late? Because what we are also hearing is that Russia is really going at a very, very high pace to try and occupy as much land as possible in Ukraine, so that when they sit down for ceasefire, they can say, we are going to hang on to all this. In fact, there are even talks about moving the capital away from Kiev. That would be really sad. I don't know if that is true or not. This is a lot of things are, again, flying fast and thick. I have a few references. You're welcome to see them. Also in Kursk, looks like the people from Ukrainian army is completely surrounded by Russia. They are trying to negotiate their way out of it. That'll be very sad. If they, can't negotiate, that means essentially they're going to be slaughtered. I hope it won't come to that. I think the fighting has stopped in the Kursk area. So somewhere Russia has really found its rhythm. It's really going, marching forward. And I think the end game is almost here. How that's going to take place, we don't know. But certainly now you're seeing the other deep state, the other entity is now also starting to play games. And I think Trump had given that message for the deep state in both United Kingdom and in United States. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.